Hello Palians, welcome back or welcome on in if you are new here. Today I'll be going through some flowers and trees, tips and tricks, and a guide on how you can get your hands on them. So let's just get straight into the gardening. Spring has definitely arrived with these beautiful blooms and we have been waiting for this moment. I just remember looking at my plot and seeing how sad and empty it looks, especially in my front yard or backyard. So it's really nice to add a little pop of color to it. So I'm going to go through how you can obtain these flower seeds, and you basically do them only in Kilima, not Bahari as of yet, but you can just head into Kilima and just do your normal bug catching with your smoke bombs. Once you try catching a few bugs, you might just get a little bit lucky, and on the right hand side you'll get a little surprise to show what kind of seeds you have obtained, and each bug has different flower seeds, so go for gold. Now, if you're getting a little bit bored or impatient with the traditional bug catching, I highly recommend going to your crafting station and crafting up some bug tools. Just a heads up, you need to be at level 10 in bug catching in order to create these certain crafting tools, but let me tell you, they are so useful in finding certain flower seeds that you really want. First is a buzzy jar. This is great as it tracks more rare insects for about 15 minutes. You require one uncommon bug in order to create it, or a couple depending on the recipe, and this is great to craft it when you really want to find something that's more of a rare flower seed. Next is my favorite, the honey lure. Now this one's a little bit trickier to create, but it is so worth it. This allows you to pretty much plant a lure for any insects of any kind in that certain area, of course depending on the time of day, and this is so useful, and I highly recommend using this as well in conjunction with a Palia party with some friends. It's a great way for you guys to all obtain as many flower seeds as you want, but definitely worth it. Lastly, there is a smoke candle, and this is effective for 10 minutes. This is really useful to actually slow down bugs nearby, especially when you're finding it quite difficult to catch bugs. And I find this really handy for Switch players out there. I feel you, I really do. So I will highly recommend this one for you all. It's great in order to catch as many bugs as you want in the vicinity, and you can get the flower seeds that you want. As mentioned, flower seeds can only be attained in Kilima, so I've just listed out some areas that I find quite useful. Just look out and see what time of day depending on what insects that you want. But Margie's Hollow, Mirror Fields, Leafhopper Hills, Reflection Fields, and the Remembrance Garden will be your best friend in terms of finding those insects and flower seeds. If you find yourself getting stuck getting these flower seeds, or you keep getting the same type that you really don't want any more of, I really recommend going to Orni store. There is a second option, and you can use your bug catching medals. Again, you need to be level 10 in order to obtain these, but I find this a really useful way to get flower seeds in demand basically, and it's great for those more rarer types. So I'm going to go through a list of types of insects and what kind of flower seed. With gardenia flowers, you just have to catch the common blue butterfly. This is basically everywhere in Kilima, no matter where you go, and they are worth 15 medals. The blue hydrangea is definitely one of my favorites in the flower collection, and it can only be obtained once you catch a duskwind butterfly. This is a little bit tricky. It is a more rare kind of butterfly, so I recommend using a honey lure for this. Otherwise, definitely go to Orni store to grab it. The rose flower can be attained by a Kilima night moth, and this is worth 10 medals. Same goes with the anemone flower. It is only obtained with a garden mantis for 10 medals. The Grimalkin tail flower can be attained by catching a common field cricket, and I really love this one. I think it'll look great with the koi pond that you can get from the guild store from Ashura, I believe it is, and this is only 10 medals. Definitely worth it, but it's giving pond vibes, so I'm really excited to see how that will look. The chillet flower is also obtained by catching a garden leafhopper for 10 medals. I really love this one. It's a nice vibrant red color. Lavender flowers are also included in this collection, which I'm really excited for, and that's caught by a garden millipede for also 10 medals. I've never heard of this flower before, but I really love the vibrant yellow. The forsythia flower can be obtained by catching a spotted stink bug. Finally, both chappatal flowers and the tiger lily flowers are worth 7 medals. I love the bright purple of the chappa flower. It kind of reminds me of lavender though, but it has more of a corn blue color, which is one of my favorite colors, and that can be obtained by a brush-tailed dragonfly. And the tiger lily flower can be obtained by catching a proud horned stag beetle, which is kind of tricky to to get because you have to do some mining in order to come across this sort of beetle. So I recommend purchasing this from Orni store as well. Now that we've seen the entire collection that we have so far for the flowers, I really hope we get a little bit more, hopefully in the next update, especially because we do have so many rare or uncommon insects in Kilima, but even in Bahari as well. So I'm really interested to see what Singularity 6 will do with this. We've got all the flower seeds that we need, but how do we actually grow them? It is super duper easy and really simple. So all you need to do is go to your housing plot and bring out whichever flower seed that you want, and you basically plant these saplings. And I love that they don't have soil, so they come out as a little sprout, which is so cute. And you're just gonna make sure that you diligently water them. Flowers only seem to have about 2 phases, the leaf sprout and fully grown. After it's fully grown, you don't need to actually water them anymore. However, you can collect 1 new seed from each, which I will show you a little bit later. And this can just be stored in your inventory, just like every other item. And the great thing about it is you can also move them freely as you want on your housing plot. I love the fact that you can easily just pick and move the flowers wherever you please, and don't be afraid to bundle up the flowers just to make them look really lush and vibrant and give it that fuller look, almost like a bush of flowers or a garden of flowers or a garden bed. I think it just looks stunning this way, and it really does give so much character to your housing plot and your build. So be really creative. Trees, trees, trees. This update is a huge game changer, and it might seem small, but it does make a really big difference, and I will tell you why in a second. But in order to obtain some tree seeds, you just have to chop some medium or large trees in order to get a chance of a seed dropping. Trees also have 4 stages, and just like the flowers, you just need to make sure that you do water them. At any stage though, the good thing about having this system is that you can choose to stop growing the trees at any point that you want. So if you like the look of a smaller tree, then you can keep it by stopping watering. And if you prefer a fully grown adult sized tree, then continue watering until it is complete. Just like the flower seeds, with the tree seeds, you basically get them out of your inventory and you place them down. The great thing is they actually have a soil patch before you grow them, so you know what's a flower seed or what is a tree seed, which can be super duper handy. And once you place them down on your plot, you can basically water them just like flowers and also move them around, which is a huge bonus because we couldn't do that before. Basically, once we planted them down, that was it. It was a final decision. So it's nice to know that you have an option to move them around as well. Another great thing about this update is that once the tree has been grown, you can actually see different stages of it. And as mentioned, you can stop the growing process if you fancy the particular look and feel. But in build mode, you basically go over to a tree, as you can see, and you just hover over each tree and you can see whether it is an adult tree, which is fully grown, a young tree in the middle cycle, or if it is a sapling, which is its first growth. So that pretty much wraps up the flowers and trees guide as per the Palia 0.178 update. I really hope you enjoyed it and have learned a bit of some tips and tricks that you can pass on to your friends or even implement them in your gameplay. Please enjoy this update. I am loving it so far, and let me know what else you'd like to see next in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye for now.